Today we'll begin with the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. This is a very beautiful and famous poem by Robert Frost. Woods here mean the forest. Stopping by forest on a snowy evening. The title itself suggests a peaceful atmosphere with the snowflakes falling in the cold winter. This rider is actually on a horse. He is going somewhere on errands, and he has to pass by the woods or the forest before he would complete his errands. He found the woods so beautiful, so enchanting, that he cannot resist stopping by the woods, even though he still have a lot of errands to finish. He stopped by the woods in order to admire the woods and to reflect. Let's begin with the first verse. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Whose woods these are, I think I know. Robert Frost knew the owner of these woods, of the forests here. It is probably someone that he knew from the village. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here. The owner will not see him stopping and admiring the woods to watch his woods fill up with snow. Second verse. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. So Robert Frost, the poet, is riding on a horse, a little horse. Usually, he does not stop by the woods. He would stop by an inn where they would rest and where they would be given some food. But in the middle of the woods, there is no inn, there is no food, there's nothing to do, but the poet is stopping by this place. So he imagined that his little horse must think it queer to stop there in the woods without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. The weather there was so cold that the lake is frozen. It is also the darkest evening of the year. Perhaps this is during the dead of winter. Or maybe the poet is going through some difficulties and troubles of his own, which makes the evening look dark, the darkest evening of the year. Third verse, he gave his harness bell a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and dawny flake. This little horse seemed to be surprised that his master is stopping there in the middle of the forest. He gave his harness bells a shake. The harness bells are the bells that are tied to the neck of a horse so that it will produce sound when he would go about. This horse gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. He seemed to look at his master and ask if he had made a mistake in stopping there in the middle of the woods. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and dawny flake. Then the last verse. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.